And then when we do explore, somebody will just grab it and you can just hold it from a distance. Yeah, you can just like this. I'll explain to them.
That's 11 people.
Is that 11?
Yeah.
Oh, she could miss Sellers.
Okay, hit the button. Wait, hit the button. Wait, hit the button. Wait, hit the button.
All right, good morning, everybody. Uh-oh, let's try that again. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thanks for letting me come in your room to teach today. I appreciate you so much. I know we flip-flopped your whole day. You don't normally do math now, do you? So we're going to do some math this morning, but let me give you a couple of expectations before we get started, okay? I put some shapes on your table group that you and your partner will explore in just a second. Miss Reason, how do you feel about them having a pair of scissors? Is that okay for them to have out? If one partner could get out a pair of scissors, can you decide somebody to get out a pair of scissors?
I will.
If not, then you just fold it. And then just lay them on your desk.
I guess.
Lay them down.
Yep.
And in 5, your hands are going to be in your lap. 4, hands in your lap. 3, 2, 1. Are your hands in your lap? Oh, look at that. That was awesome. Good job. Okay, so a couple things. I'm going to have you, with your math, you're going to have those shapes. You're going to have the scissors you might need. And when you're talking with your partner, be sure that when we work together, I watched you guys the other day when I walked in, and oh my gosh, you're working so well together. So be sure that we are sharing and talking with each other about what we're noticing about the math, okay? Are y'all ready? Are we ready? Yes, sir. Oh, it wasn't for me. Oh, and you may see somebody walking by with a video. Y'all are going to ignore that. They're just videoing me so I can hear what I say. So if you see someone with a camera walking around, just ignore it, okay? Are y'all good?
Yeah.
We're ready to go?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so eyes on me.
I
Love it. Here we go. All right, see if I can get this to work. So today we are learning how to create fair shares in shapes. I want you to tell your partner what it means to be fair. What does it mean to be fair? Have a fair share. Talk to your partner.
Button.
Okay, so let's come back. What do you think it means to be fair? Who can tell me? Let's raise our hand and share what their partner said about fair. In the back, right there. To like share it. So anybody else want to add to that? About what fair means? Yeah, what do you think?
It means fair share means that like when you're using something really important but the other person's gonna have it and you let them borrow it.
So you're sharing with them. If we were eating Skittles and I had 12 and you had 2, would that be fair?
No.
No. So we would want to be the same, right? So we're going to be talking about creating fair shares with our shapes today. And here's how you're going to know you are successful for today. You are going to know you are successful when you can model it on those shapes. So we got to model it. But you're also going to have to explain why it's fair. Does that make sense? So when I come by talking to your group, I want you to be able to tell me how you know those shapes, the shares that you created are fair. Are you ready to roll? How many people like to eat? Do you like brownies? Do you like pizza? Me too, and I really want to bring brownies and pizza, but that's a little messy for 9:30 in the morning, right? So we're going to pretend we have pizza and brownies, and if you guys were having a pizza and brownies, then we want to create some fair shares. So let's look. Jake, he is sharing a personal pizza and a brownie with his sister. He's sharing it, okay? And you're going to use these paper brownies and pizzas that you have on your desk. You're going to pretend. You like to pretend? This looks like a yummy purple pizza, doesn't it? And some yummy purple, really dark purple brownies, right? So you're going to work with your partner to show how much each person, Jake and his sister, should get. Okay, because remember what you're learning today is how to create fair shares in these shapes. So I want you and your partner to work together to create fair shares in our purple pizza and our purple brownies. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, you're gonna get to work and I'm gonna be coming by asking you some questions. So everybody, I'll set my timer and start working with your partner to figure out how to create a fair share of our brownies and pizza. You and your partner have to talk about it. How do you think you're gonna create a fair share?
You get half of this and I get a brownie and you get a brownie.
But just one brownie. Remember, they're only sharing one brownie. I just gave you a couple because you might want to show me a couple of ways to do it. You got to share one brownie. But I like how you were thinking. So can you guys work together to figure out how you could share one brownie? Show me. Work with your partner to show me what you mean.
Cut the pizza in half.
All right, guys, what are you thinking? You were going to share one brownie and one personal pizza. How would you do that? What would you do if this was your brownie to share? What would you do? What? So if this was your pizza and you were going to share it with your friend Elijah, what would you do? Huh? So this was the pizza and you have the pizza and he has the brownie. How would you share this with your friend? What would you do? Okay, you think you could do that? What do you think, Elijah? What do you think you could use these scissors? You had this brownie and you were going to share it with your friend Leo. What could you do with those scissors to show me how to share it? Talk with Leo about what you're going to do and I'm going to come back and check on you in a minute, okay? Leo, talk with Elijah. Okay. Have you figured it out?
Yeah, and like we cut the pizza in half.
Can you show me what that would look like?
Yeah.
So what do you mean by cut it in half? Oh, and you both would take a piece. So how can you be sure that it's in half though? What could we do before we start cutting? You could organize it, yeah. What else could you do?
You had to measure it first.
Oh, you have to measure it first. So how can we measure it to be sure we have it in half before we start cutting? Because if I cut right here, is that going to be in half?
No.
Oh.
Cut
In the middle. So how can you be sure you're cutting in the middle? What would you need to do to this?
I need to do this.
Make a line. So if we folded it, you think you can make a line?
Yes.
Yeah. So I want y'all to work together to figure out how you would now share this brownie too.
Oh, like we like
You guys talk about it. I'm going to come back. All right, guys, y'all figure it out.
like we
Yeah, so what would you do to your brownie and your pizza to share it?
So split this.
Okay, so can you show me how to do that? How would you split it? Remember, you only have one brownie, but we're going to talk about this. What would you do to split it? Can you and your partner start splitting it so you can show me what each person gets? All right, y'all will start splitting, and we'll come back and check on you. Are y'all splitting your brownies and your pizzas? How would you know how much Autumn would get, Keller? How much of this brownie would Autumn get? Y'all were sharing. So how would you show half of it? Okay, but where are you going to cut it? What do you think, Autumn? You're going to cut it in the middle. Why the middle? Why not on the side? Why wouldn't you cut it like right here? That's right, because remember we were creating fair shares. It wouldn't be fair, would it? Right? So how can you find the middle? What can you do to this? Think you could fold it to find the middle? Where do you think you're going to fold it and cut it? Y'all work together and I'm going to come back and see if you fit. Oh, I like it, what he's doing there. Can you do the same or are you going to do it a different way? Oh my goodness, talk to me about what's happened up here. What happened to this brownie? You split it. Why? What about these sizes? Is this a fair share? Why is it not fair?
Because this one's fat and this one.
Oh, so this one's bigger is what you're saying. So it's not fair because this one's bigger. So is this a fair share? So what could you do? You have an extra brownie here. What could we do to prove that it's fair? What happened here that caused it to be unfair? What happened?
We got
This is bigger.
I keep this. As we cut it, there's your half too far away.
Too far away. So you needed to be more in the middle. What about these? Did you cut your pizza in a fair share? How can you prove these are fair? What would you do to prove those are fair? They're the same. What could you do, Eliana? Eliana, how can you prove they're the same size? What would you need to do? Measure them? What else could you do, Eliana, to prove they're the same? What do you think? How do we know these aren't the same? Yeah, it doesn't match up, does it? So if they don't match up, they're not fair, right? They're not equal. What could you do to see if these are equal? Did you match them up like this? Oh, look at that. So does that look fair to you? So you cut those in half, right? So I'm wondering if there's a different way you could cut this one. Looks like you guys tried to cut it down the middle. Is there a different way you could cut this one in half? I want you to talk about that. See if there's a different way and you can be sure that these are equal shares, okay? I'm going to come back and check on you. Oh my goodness, what's going on, guys? Last time I saw you, we were trying to share our brownie and pizza. So did you share them? Tell me about your shares. Where's your fair share?
These are the brownies.
Okay, or the pizza. This is the pizza. So how much are you getting, Leo?
2.
Oh, so how do you know that's fair? Oh, that is so interesting. But how do you know that that's fair though? Like, how do you know that this is the same as this? Okay, but how do you know that you're getting the same amount as Elijah? If Elijah says, here you go, Leo, you get the same as me. How could you prove you get the same? Oh, I see. So could you see if they're the same size? Are they, let's see, are they the same size? What do you think? Are they? Here's what I'm wondering. I noticed you cut these into 4 pieces. I'm wondering, can you cut this one and only cut it into 2 pieces to share? What would that look like? Y'all work on that. I'm going to come back. All right, guys, let's talk about yours. Where's your brownie? So have y'all fair shared? How do you know that's a fair share?
We were gonna cut this in half, like we were trying to, but she tried to put it in the middle as much as she could.
She tried to put it in the middle as much as she could. Why would you want to put it in the middle?
Because if you put it in the middle, it cuts it right in half.
We got about a minute and a half left. I'm going to be over to you guys in just a second.
It cuts it right in half.
Okay, it's right in half. So how is that fair?
Because they're the same size.
Oh, they're the same size. So y'all were trying to make the same size pieces. Is that what you're saying? So you call this halves. What I'm wondering is, could you cut this other brownie in a different way? Is there a different way? And I wonder if you could start from a corner. I wonder if you could start from a corner and cut a different way. Y'all work on that. I'm going to come back.
I know this way.
Oh, my. What has happened to the brownies? What's going on here? Talk to me. Did you fair share your brownies and pizzas?
Yes.
You did? Well, talk to me about it. How do you know they're fair? You cut it in half. So what does it mean to be in half? Gotcha. So your sister has one, the brother has one, and there's. But how do you know it's fair though? I see it's half. I see you're saying it's half. Gotcha. So if you had 2 brownies, you could get 2 halves, couldn't you? So on this one though, how did you know these were fair? If you were the sister and you were the brother and you got this one and you got this one, how would you prove it's fair? Oh, you would even give a little bit more. But if you actually wanted the exact same, right? Would that be fair that it's the exact same? So how could you prove these are exactly the same? Yeah, show me. How would you figure that out? How would you prove they're the same size? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Can we lay them on top of each other to prove they're the same size? Let's see. Are they the same?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so you created halves in 2 different ways. Here's what I'm wondering before we're about to start sharing as a group. I'm going to borrow these if that's okay with you. Can I borrow these as well? And so what I'm wondering is, is there another way you could have cut this to have done a fair share? Y'all talk about that while I'm talking. How do you know that you have a fair share?
Because we both have two, and we have both have straight line pizza.
You have a straight line.
And that causes us to have two pieces.
Gotcha. And how do you know that's fair though? What do you know about the size of the pieces?
Yes, they're the same size.
Oh, they're the same size. So how can you prove they're the same size? What could you do? You guys talk to each other about how you prove it's the same size. Okay, guys, if we could come together, we're going to all focus up on the screen. I'm going to share some solutions up on your calendar. Right. Elmo from Sesame Street. You got this. And I don't know how you should share Yeah, no, it's fine. That's fine. Okay, guys, here's what I need you to do. If you could put your hands in your lap and eyes on the screen, I'm going to share a couple of your friends' solutions that were out there. So we can talk about if we mastered our goal for the day. Remember, we were talking about how to create fair shares, and you guys are fair sharing or trying to fair share your brownies and pizza, right? We knew we were successful if we could model, and a lot of you are modeling, and you also had to explain, right? So when I was coming around asking you to explain, so we're going to share some solutions that I want you to think about whether these are fair shares and how we know. So let me grab these as well. And I want you to look on the screen. And I want you to look and talk to your partner in just a second. See this pizza? I'm sorry, this is a brownie, isn't it? Not a pizza, unless it's a jet pizza. It's a purple pizza. So hands are in your lap, eyes are on the screen. In 3, 2, 1, eyes on the screen. You see our brownie up here? Here's what I want you to talk to your partner about. I want you to talk to your partner. Is this a fair share? And how do you know? Turn and talk to your partner. Is this a fair share and how do you know?
It's cut in half, and that's how one of them has one and the other one has that one. Jeremiah, come join our group. What is this thing around here? That's a fair share.
All right, let's come back together. Who can tell me, is this a fair share or not, and why? Right here, talk to us.
It's a fair share because it's got split in half in the middle, and the two people got the same amount.
Wow, did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I see some we agree. So he said it got split in half, and the two pieces are the same. Would you agree with that? So what does it mean to be in half then? If you have something split in half, what does that mean? Tell your partner, what does that mean? If something's split in half, what does that mean?
When something is broken.
Yeah, but why? What makes it half? What would make it not half?
Just keeping it as a square.
Oh, yeah, keeping it as a square. What if I cut it, but I didn't cut it in half? Why would make it not half?
That will not be half like this. That will be just like this.
Okay, let's come back together. So what does it mean to be in half? If something's in half,
Yeah.
What did you and your partner talk about? What does it mean to be in half? Yes.
It means like cut exactly in the middle.
Oh, he said it's cut exactly in the middle. Would y'all agree with that?
Yeah.
Cut exactly in the middle. How else would you say it's in half? Yes, ma'am.
Only you want to cut it in the middle because they had to make it to be at the same amount.
Oh, you had to make it the same amount. So let me ask you this. How many pieces did we make? Everybody can say it. Two. So if it's 2 pieces, it's a half, right? So this is also a half. Yes? 2 pieces? Turn and talk to your partner. Is this a half? Why or why not? Turn and talk to your partner. Tell them why. Why is it not? Oh, it's not fair. Why is it not fair?
The skinny one.
All right, let's come back together. All right, guys, you told me 2 pieces. That's a half. Is this a half? No. Can you tell me what you were saying about why this isn't a half?
Because one of them is skinnier than the other one.
And you said that that's not. You said that's not.
That's not fair.
Not fair. Right? Remember our target for the day was to create fair shares. So you're telling me that fair means they have to be the same size, right?
Yep.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And you're telling me that half means 2 pieces, that 2 equal pieces. So let me ask you one more solution. Actually, 2 more if I have time. But one more to look at. I have another solution that I am really perplexed about, confused. I'm not sure. I don't. What happened? I don't know that this top one is correct because you guys said I had to put it right in the middle. So, and it had to be 2 equal pieces. So I want you to talk to your partner. Look at those 2 different ways that those brownies were cut. Can you talk to your partner about whether or not that they're both showing a half? Are they both fair shares? And what can I do up here to prove it? Talk to your partner. Are these both halves? And what can I do to prove it? What do you think?
It is half. It's the same size.
Are they both halves?
It is the same size. Like you can look at the camera. Yeah, it is the same size. Yeah, this they're both cut in half in the middle. That's how they're both the same size. This is not the same size. This is the same. Look, this is not the same size. Look at this. To pull this is not the same size. If you do this, it's the same size.
It's about time to wrap up our conversation. Okay, so you guys are talking, and I'm really not sure that top one is a half. Who wants to vote? Let's vote. Who thinks that both of these are showing a half? Okay, who thinks that they're not? So let's talk. Who wants to defend their thinking? Who wants to give their thoughts on why it's a half and why it's not? So what do you think? See your name back there. Marina, is it a half or not? The top. They're the same part. They're the same. How can we prove that they're the same? What can we do? Go ahead.
That's the person that cut them. They cut them exactly in half.
Yeah, they cut them exactly in half. You're saying they have to be the same. So y'all are telling me to be half. You not only have to be in the middle, the pieces have to be equal, the same. But how can I prove these are equal? What can I do to prove these are equal? Yeah. What can I do to this to prove it's equal to this one? Anybody want to help your friend out? How can I prove that they're equal? Yes, ma'am? You have an idea?
Wait.
Oh, show them what you're doing right there. Miss, is it Carmen? Cameron, what are you doing? Hold that up, right there with your pieces. Hold those up. You see what Cameron's doing? Oh, I don't see all the eyes on Cameron. Y'all see what Cameron's doing?
Yeah.
What's she doing to the pieces?
You put them on top.
She put them on top to prove that they're the same, that they're equal. Would y'all agree?
Yep.
Interesting. So it looks like today you have discovered that to fair share something, your shapes, you have to have the same size. Try to tell your partner when you fair share something, you get two equal pieces. What do we call those? Try to tell your partner what we call those. What do you call that when you have two equal pieces? It's a fair share, but what do you call it if you cut it? You cut it in what? In half. So these are halves. Is that what you're telling me? This is a half and this is a half? Gotcha. Okay. All right, so come back with me. What do we call it when we cut something fair and it's in two equal pieces? Fair shares. And if we cut it in half. So we discovered today that our fair shares have to be equal. They can't be unequal like this one. And they are called halves when they're equal. Well, there was an interesting one, y'all. You guys will talk about this in another lesson. But this happened to somebody's family.
What?
And they gave 2 to 1 and 2 together. I wonder if that represented a half. Maybe you can talk about that in your next lesson that's coming up. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But right now, I want you to pile up your little shapes in the middle of your desk. Put your scissors away. And I have a little exit ticket for you. I'm going to put on your table. And if I can get back to the PowerPoint, I'll show it to you. But where you're going to show me what the 2 equal parts look like and how to draw a half. And then you have a question at the bottom that says, is this a half or not? Okay? So I want you to put your name on that when I give it to you. And you can go ahead and get started.
I'm eating this.
You guys did an awesome job today figuring out
You need to finish a brownie.
what's a fair share and that you were able to model and explain. I'm so proud of you.
This is not real kit. We're putting that right there. One day you can. This one.
You can leave it like
And I ate it. There you go. It's still a half. Where's the bird?
Put your name on that, and if you would finish that up.
This is so easy.
So easy.
Because 2 plus 2 is so easy. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Good.
Okay, we going somewhere else. Oh, let me turn this off. Sellers. Amy Sellers. You have
Here's our shapes.